Assalamualaikum and good morning to Dr. Hafiz and everyone. My name AINNUR HUSNA binti HASRUDDIN and my partner BALQIS HUMAIRA binti JAMALUDIN. Today our group will presenting our proposal about a study on a relationship between prior knowledge, gastro experience and satisfaction, a case of gastronomy tourism in Penang.
For our presentation, we will cover several main sections. First, I will explain the introduction, research problem, research gaps, research objectives, research frameworks, and study variables. Then my partner will continue with the rest of the topics until the conclusion. Gastronomy tourism has become an increasingly important aspect of the tourism industry. Today, tourists are no longer interested only in sightseeing activities, but they are also seeking authentic and meaningful food experiences. Food also allows tourists to connect emotionally and culturally with a destination by experiencing local traditions, lifestyles, and heritage, and such as. Although gastronomy tourism has been widely studied in many countries, studies focusing on specific destinations such as Penang are still limited. Therefore, this study aims to better understand gastronomy tourism in the context of Penang, Malaysia. This study addresses two main research problems. The first problem is whether prior knowledge, such as information gained from social media, travel blogs, or word of mouth, significantly influences tourist gastronomy experience in Penang. The second problem is whether gastronomy experience significantly influences tourists' overall satisfaction with Penang as a tourism destination. These relationships are still not clearly examined across different destination settings, particularly in Malaysia. And again, there are two key research gaps identified in this study. First, there is a lack of empirical studies that examine the influence of prior knowledge on gastronomy experience in diverse destinations, especially outside previously studied contexts. Second, previous literature shows inconsistent findings regarding whether gastronomy experience consistently leads to tourist satisfaction across different destinations. Because of these gaps, further research is needed, particularly in gastronomy destinations such as Penang. Based on the identified research gaps, this study has two main objectives. The first objective is to determine whether prior knowledge significantly influences the gastronomy experiences of tourists visiting Penang. The second objective is to examine whether gastronomy experience significantly influences tourist satisfaction in Penang. So in this slide, we can see the research framework. In this framework, prior knowledge is the independent variable, gastronomy experience is the mediating variable, and tourist satisfaction is the dependent variable. The framework shows that prior knowledge influences gastronomy experience, which in turn affects tourist satisfaction. In this study, prior knowledge refers to tourist awareness and understanding of Penang's gastronomy before visiting. Gastronomy experience is a multi-dimensional experience that includes food quality, service, atmosphere, authenticity, and food-related activities. Tourist satisfaction refers to tourists' overall evaluation of their travel experience in Penang. So that's all from me. Now I will hand over the presentation to my partner, AINNUR HUSNA.
Next, I will talk about the research hypothesis of the study. The study proposed two main hypotheses. The first is prior knowledge has a significant influence on gastronomy experience. This means that tourists who already have information or awareness about the Penang food before visiting are more likely to have a better gastronomy experience. For the next hypothesis is the gastronomy experience has a significant influence on tourist satisfaction. In simple words, if a tourist enjoy the food, restaurant or food activity in Penang, they are more likely to feel satisfied with their overall visit. Here is the research methodology. It's using a quantitative method, using a positive paradigm, focuses on objectives, measure and hypothesis testing to examine. The research design using a cross-sectional research design. Data will be collected at one point in time from respondents using a structured questionnaire. The study population focuses on tourists visiting Penang for gastronomy tourism, and the study population consists of domestic and international tourists who visit Penang and participate in gastronomy tourism activity. And next, for the sampling, a non-probability sampling will be used. The sampling frame proposes sampling, data collecting method, online questionnaire using Google Form, and the minimum sample size 74 respondents. And next, for the inclusion criteria, first our criteria is 18 years old and above. For the second criteria is a tourist and not a Penang resident. And finally, for our third criteria is a tourist who have visited Penang. Alright, moving on to the theoretical significance of the study. First, this study helps to confirm gastronomy experience as an important factor of influencing tourist satisfaction. It supports existing tourism theories by showing that food is not just an additional attraction, but also a key part of overall travel experience. Second, the study strengthens existing theories by highlighting the role of prior knowledge. It shows that what tourists know before traveling affects how they experience gastronomy during their visit. This supports experiential tourism theory, which links expectation before travel to actual experience and evaluation after study. Next, for the practical significance, for the study show that gastronomy experience can be used as a practical tool to improve tourist satisfaction. The finding can help restaurant owner and tourism operator improve food quality, service, atmosphere and authenticity to help tourists experience. Second, the study highlight the importance of managing tourist expectation before they visit. Destination marketers can use accurate and attractive food-related information in promotion by providing clear and engaging gastronomy information. Tourists can form a better expectation, which lead to a better food experience in Penang. Alright, for the conclusion, this study aims to examine the relationship between prior knowledge, gastronomy experience, and tourist satisfaction in Penang. By addressing existing research gap, the study contributes both theoretically and practically to gastronomy tourism literature. The findings are expected to help research better understanding food tourism experience, while also assisting tourism stakeholders in enhancing tourist satisfaction throughout effective gastronomy planning and promotion.